Black is beautiful. I'm beautiful. I wouldn't want to be anything else. I love what I am. I love what I am, even if I don't know everything that I am. We only have so much of our own history recorded in this case, and other people's families is different. Like I have friends that know exactly where their family came from in Africa. Like we don't necessarily have that luxury, but I'm still proud of everything, every bit, every weird story I hear about my great grandmother or my great great grandmother. My crazy, terrifying aunt who pulls guns on people at funerals. Like all that stuff it's so character based. Like I went to school for film and animation, and these are the best stories, like the best stories. They're not the only stories, the only stories in history are not slavery and pain, but they're beautiful people and they're beautiful stories. I did have a joke once about, in an interview, somebody asked me if you could have a superpower, what would it be? And I said to change color for like an hour or two. Like if I could just be white for the job interview, and then show up as black guy on the first day of the work, what can they do about it? I think that I don't want to be white, but I could use it. I could use it as leverage if it was a marketable skill.
Are we talking about skin tone? Are we talking about culture, heritage, backgrounds? I mean, I wouldn't change. Let me answer your question though. When I was growing up and I learned about other Korean blacks like myself who were actually darker than me, you could tell they have Asian in them, but they were darker than me. They had more black textured hair. They can pass as black, and they had more acceptance. I remember growing up wanting my skin color to be dark. I was in the sun all the time. I wanted to be dark. I wanted my skin tone to be beautiful. I always admired the melanin. I always admired beautiful black skin. So something about that, I just get goosebumps. Just African people, just by far, to me, my opinion, the most beautiful human beings on this planet. Genetically, physically, everything. Like everything. They're just the epitome of the Homo sapien race, in my opinion. And I always wanted to try to just get darker and just to get darker and try to fit in, and try to look like other black people, just because, I really loved everything about black culture and Southern black, because, my biological father is Southern black. He was born in Mississippi, and their family, my ancestry dates back to the plantation fields and the cotton picking fields in Mississippi. So I that Southern black culture, I would just want to just really conform to look like I was from the southern country, and I wouldn't change that for the world. Today I accept myself for I know who I am, so for whatever anybody says about what I should look like in their eyes is irrelevant to me. I know who I am as an individual, who I identify with, and if we're talking about black in this just its essence, I would choose black.
Black every time.
Honestly, I'm still gonna say I would prefer to be, black. Never really thought like if I had the chance, but I'm comfortable right now knowing that, hey, everything that I'm going through, have been through, it's made me who I am. Like, I'm very strong. I'm gonna go for what I want, and I still feel as though, hey, being black, I got a lot to prove. Even though it shouldn't be like I have to always prove myself to people, but that's something that I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna make a stand for it.
What else could I be? I mean, all I know is America. America don't love black people, but black people know America. Sometimes the only time I see my dad in a year is 4th of July. He will drive all the way across the country for the 4th of July. Black people would definitely be more patriotic if it wasn't for all the idiotic stuff that patriotic people do in the name of the country, which is kind of absurd, right? Same thing with conservatives. If you think about it, what conservatives say are their, like, you know, bread and butter, like religion and, you know, like traditions and stuff like that. Every like 50 to 80-year-old black person loves the same stuff, but because you spent decades ostracizing them and beating the shit out of them, they can't possibly think that we're on the same page, but they still like the same things.
No. Nope. I do not. All my life, no.
So in my younger days, yes, I felt more patriotic, but that was just a product of the propaganda. You know, growing up in an American school, public school, they make you raise your hand or stand up and put your hand to chest and I pledge allegiance to the flag, and just doing that every day, and you know, the stuff that they instilled, for sure, I definitely felt more patriotic. But the older I got, you know, you realize things, you know, good and bad, about the country you're born in, the country you pledged your allegiance to. So to answer that, to some extent, yes, I definitely do feel patriotic, and I'm proud of the country I've come from, and it's given me opportunities that I can't imagine. But at the same time, you can be better.
I wouldn't say that, because their definition of how they feel or what they feel is supposed to be the full-fledged, the creed to the American, what is it, land of the freedom and all that. I don't think I live up to their potential, or I don't even think I kind of compare to it. So I would say kind of like no.
A lot of those. I'll say just because of recently, I've been watching Spike Lee's newer movies, because he never stops. Like, he did the good thing, like he did the right thing. He made the amazing black movies, you know, the iconic black movies. He put black actors on. He started careers. He turned careers over, and he never stopped. And it doesn't matter if people like him or not. He still like does his thing. Like a new movie, oh, Spike Lee's last movie was a flop, still fucking churning them out, and he's trying. Like, it's not that he's calling them in. Like, you ever hear about a new movie from a director that's been around for a long time, and when you watch the movie, it's like, oh, this is mediocre as fuck. He's still directing, like he's still thinking, he's still writing, he's still turning the gears. Like that new movie with the soldiers from Vietnam, he makes you think about their camaraderie then and now, like the reverse of, like, they're all older now and they have to go back and think about it. Like, there's so many layers to how much thought went into writing that story. And I wouldn't even say like Spike Lee's my favorite director or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, just off the top of my head, that's just one more dope black voice to look up to.
Well, I look up to my brother. I'm gonna have to say my brother. I mean, I have many black folk in my family that I really admire and respect and appreciate. I'm gonna have to say my brother, just because he's not your typical 21-year-old. He's just not. He's just very confident of who he is as a black man. He's very intelligent. He sees the world like outside the box. He, you know, is just very mature in who he is and what he stands for, and how he approaches his life every day as a black man. It really is inspiring to me, that him as a black male is so confident. He's not living this life in fear. He's not stepping out on the street, being what other people think your typical black male, committing crimes, which is none of that. Okay, no. He's just so, he's aware of everything what's going on, but he just stays in his, he's just in his lane. He's just a very powerful black man. He's destined to do great things. I always told him this from when he was younger. And even though he's younger than me, even though he's 16 years younger than me, I look up to my little brother. He's part of my heart. And I really want my sons to really be like him.
Black person I look up to. I mean, I can give you a few examples, but do you want someone I'm related to? Because I can give you an easy one, or someone that's black person I look up to. Man, I hate to go to entertainers, so I don't want to go to entertainers. But this guy, what's his name? I was just talking to Tarneishia about him yesterday. But he's head of a hedge fund, Robert F. Smith, I believe his name, Robert F. Smith. Head of a hedge fund. And last year, he's the guy that pledged to pay off all the student loan and all the debt for the Morehouse graduating class, all 400 students, $50-something million. But yeah, he's somebody that he looks kind of like me. He does what I want to do, and he's setting a fantastic example of what it means to give back to where you came from and the people who looked out for you. So definitely Robert F. Smith. And he likes race cars too. That helps.
I have a lot. So I look up to all the successful, independent, strong women in my family. I look up to, I have cousins, I have uncles that one of them says he's not successful, however he is, that has many things going on. I look up to anybody that has a dream and that's going out there trying to fulfill it, doing the best that they can, not letting any obstacles bring them down. I mean, there's many different challenges that we all face, but I don't have one in particular, but anybody that has a drive and that's motivated and going out there to get it, I look up to them. And they don't even have to be older than me. There's people, I have friends that right now, finished high school, got a college degree, are now starting their own businesses. They're actually trying to help within their communities and do things of that sort. So any kind of level of success, everybody has different meanings of it, but those are people who I look up to every day.
I love everything about it. Everybody loves an underdog story, right? And that's all we are. You got kidnapped, beaten, raped, abused, still I rise, right? That poem's amazing. But that's our history. Given the worst food to live off of, still got up. Knocked down again, still got up. Started to shine here in sports or in industry or in business. Beaten down, killed, cities burned down, still got back up, still getting back up, still gonna get back up. I actually got into an argument with my history teacher from high school this week on Facebook, and he ended up deleting me because I was using history to argue with him. I asked him where in history has any oppressed people ever gotten their freedom back from asking politely, when he keeps talking about people doing polite, quiet protests. That doesn't get shit done. You gotta go out there and grind. You gotta get up again after you get knocked down, because you're gonna get knocked down. And it's painful and it's frustrating, and you know what you can get back up from, but it's hard when you hear, like, you know, I have a little girl, and you see like the story of Ruby, the little girl that was like the first black girl to go to a desegregated school, and like grown armed guards had to walk into school with her. The whole rest of the school year she was in the classroom by herself, and she was 6 years old. God, I hope my daughter never has to go through something like that. At 6 years old, she was having to be escorted with armed guards. But that was like, that woman's still alive, I think. She's in her 60s or 70s. It's a terrible thing, but it's the same way that anything ugly is beautiful, or anything that's been beaten is beautiful. There's a word for it. I forgot what it's called, but like, it's a Japanese thing where they, like, if a bowl gets broken or ceramics get broken, when they repair it with like this gold dust and glue, so it's actually more valuable after it's been broken. Well, we've been broken and broken and broken and broken, and we still keep getting back up.
I'm proud to be black because of the love that I have received from my grandmother, rest in peace, Grandma Williams. She really took me in, and she's not my grandmother by blood, but she's known me since before I was born. So, but after, you know, what I've been through, and she knows, she took me under. She's from southern Georgia, beautiful black woman. She took me in and really taught me a lot about black culture. The way she taught me about family. She taught me about just the importance of family sitting at a table, eating collard greens, cornbread, you know, mac and cheese. You know, she used to cook hen. She used to really cook all the time, and for her, it was part of her culture to bring people together at a table, to sit, talk, you know, learn about somebody's day, just typical social etiquette. I learned that from her. I learned and comfort, like how to, she taught me how to be comfortable in my own skin. And she, you know, I've learned to really fall in love with my black side since I was a child. And to this day, I just find a certain comfort. She's passed 16 years ago, but still, she's my thoughts every day, and I find a certain comfort with you know, just having inspirational black folk around me. You know, it's just a comfort. It makes me feel connected a lot more. And most of the people around me are black folk, which is wonderful, because it gives me a sense of security to be you know, African American, and like I said before, I mean, I think black people are so beautiful. You know, they're beautiful human beings, beautiful, and it just makes me very proud to be part of that bloodline, that culture, the togetherness, the family, love. I learned all that from black folks, so it makes me proud every day.
Proud. I mean, looking at my grandmother's face, my mom, and just looking back to see where I came from and the potential of what I can be, they make me the most proud. I know it's kind of a corny answer, but
I would say it would be like the fight, the strive. It also goes back to like our ancestors, all the many accomplishments that our black-skinned ancestors have been through. Like to know that we've overcome so much, to know that, hey, this is my heritage, this is what represents me.